Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Skrull, Invaders, and Guardians of the Galaxy alike. Ahead of the upcoming release of Marvel Future Revolution later this month, I thought I'd check out two Marvel mobile games that I haven't looked at before. I previously looked at Marvel Contest of Champions. I'll put a link in the top right-hand corner for that. Now it's time for the second one, Marvel Future Fight. Let's check it out. First things first, this is yet again a very different type of game to the mobile games that I am used to playing, namely Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and, of course, Marvel Strike Force. Although it does have that collector element, you are collecting heroes to build up a squad, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. As you can see from the gameplay, it's once again very different, right? So normally I'm used to kind of the Marvel Strike Force kind of gameplay where, you know, you're building, it's a squad collector kind of game, a resource management game, and then you're pitting these the squads that you build in pretty static environments. Your squad's lined up on one side, the enemy squad's lined up on the other side, and then they fight with each other in this pretty static setup. The camera is a little more dynamic in Marvel Strike Force than it is in Galaxy of Heroes, but still the gameplay is pretty static. Compare that with our experience that we had in Contest of Champions, where it was kind of giving me vibes of, you know, old school beat 'em up kind of games that used to play on games consoles like Street Fighter or even Mortal Kombat's kind of one character versus another character. I was tapping the screen to actually control each and every punch and kick that was thrown, and you're kind of getting combos and you're using the screen like a controller, so that was kind of very old school. This here is very different yet again. As you can see from this gameplay, I'm Black Widow, and Iron Man's in there too, and Captain America. That's my squad, that's the starter squad, and we're kind of being attacked by these weird Ultron-esque invaders right here, but it's more of an open platform kind of world, right? This is reminding me, as I move around here, it's actually reminding me of my experience playing Lego Star Wars. Remember, I put a link in the top right hand corner in case you want to check that out. I had a go with the Lego Star Wars port onto iPad, and this is a very similar kind of feel. So it's actually not an open world, right? You can't just explore anywhere. There's actually a pretty linear path that you go through, but it is a three-dimensional world, and you do get to control your movement through it, right? If I don't move forward, I don't initiate these cutscenes, and I don't necessarily initiate the combat. So it's a little more dynamic than Marvel Strike Force or indeed Galaxy of Heroes. In fact, from what I've seen of the gameplay from Marvel's Future Revolution, Future Fight almost looks like Future Revolution Lite. I wonder, in fact, if this game is sort of being replaced a little bit by Future Revolution. I don't know, maybe you have thoughts on that. If you do play the game, let me know down below, because I really would love to hear your thoughts. There you go. I think I just beat War Machine there, although I wasn't entirely sure that was going to work out that way. So there's a lot of story in this game, which is kind of cool. I am enjoying the story. It's pretty immersive. I'd say a little more immersive perhaps than the kind of story that you get in Marvel Strike Force, because of the way you're playing it. You feel like you're not just kind of statically building a squad, you're very much in part of the action. You're moving these characters around and giving them orders. But let's take a little more look at the gameplay here. So the movement is kind of strange. So I had to fly into that kind of light bar there in order to move up into the next level. So in order to move Iron Man, so I'm playing as Iron Man right now. In order to move Iron Man, this little pad in the bottom left, that little blue circle, I have to move my finger on that in order to move him around, which is taking a lot of getting used to. I'm trying to play this the way I was playing Lego Star Wars, right, where I'm just moving my hand over the screen, anywhere on the screen, and it's moving the character in that direction, but that's very much not how this works. If I want to move Iron Man, I have to use that little blue circle there, although what I'm doing now is I'm just hitting the attack button, the kind of two crossed swords in the bottom right hand corner, because there are enemies on screen. He's automatically seeking out those enemies and engaging them. So that's kind of an easy way to move around. But when there aren't any enemies on screen, the only way to move is with this funny little trackpad they have in the bottom left. And I gotta tell you, it's kind of weird, as you can see, just flew into a wall there, right? It's kind of taking a little bit of getting used to. It's not 100% intuitive for me. And then when it comes to combat, I mean, also this environment here, I'm finding it a little weird to work out kind of where I can go and where I can't go, because it looks like it's, okay, so there's a force field, obviously can't go through until I've done whatever I'm supposed to do here, beat up destroy these bots, and there's some arrows, so I kind of follow the arrows to work out where I need to go. But it's weird. It looks as though I should be able to go, you know, around that table in the background there, right up to those windows, but I can't. So that's what I mean by it's not really an open world environment here. It's very limited in terms of where I can go. It's just got the look and the feel of an open world environment without actually being open world. And then the combat. So if we go over here, I skipped a cutscene, but I think I'm about to fight Vision. Yep, there we go. So with the combat, if I just hit this, mash this kind of basic attack button there, Iron Man just does his basic attacks, but you can see I've also got 1, 2, and 3 there. 3's currently locked. So if I hit those attacks there, that was 1. And you know, I can do these special attacks as well, which then take time to kind of charge up. So that was 2 there, where I was like blasting the ground. That's 1 again. They take time to charge up, but they're more powerful attacks. And I guess from what I can tell, they're in some ways kind of mediated by the character level, by the gear, but also by the suit. If we take a look here, let's take a look at kind of Iron Man. Let's go through the various different menus here and see what we can find out about him. So obviously I'm very much at the beginning of this game, right? So I don't even know what that is right there, for example. It's telling me I can rank stuff up. This is all locked here in terms of the character gear, but these are the skills which I think I should be able to increase the difficulty level. So if the difficulty level, I mean the power level, I should be able to upgrade that. Looks like I can take that up. Oh, but it's saying that I can't take that up because I'm not at the high enough. Oh, there we go. So I can upgrade it to level 2. I just can't take it any higher than that without becoming level 3. So there you go. So I upgraded Repulsor Blast to level 2, and I should be able to do the same thing for Repulsor Ray here. But again, to take it up to level 3, I'm going to need to increase his actual overall level. And then Blast type. So I'll point this out next time we're in a combat situation, but it looks like, again, this is similar to actually the system that they had in the DC game that I played. Can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll pop a link in the top right hand corner. They've got a kind of rock paper scissors thing going on where like Blaster beats hand to hand, beats speed, beats mystic, whatever the various setup is. We'll take a look at it next time we're in combat. Then obviously they've got ISO 8, an ISO 8 system here, so it's going to be similar terminology because it's within the Marvel universe, but again, I don't have any crystals for that right now. Maybe I'll check that out a little later. But then there's costumes too. So right now I guess I'm on the Avengers Age of Ultron costume. I can also equip the regular costume, but it looks here, there we go. So it looks like I can actually purchase, again, this is probably with credits or presumably real money. I can purchase various different costumes for Iron Man, and they kind of come with upgrades, so that they're getting attack upgrades, and there's a uniform effect as well. And during combat, those things kind of come into play. And this, as far as I can tell, is the same for every single character. So it looks like you can really get into some kind of real complex mechanics here, right? Where you're changing a character's costume. You're not only changing kind of how they look, but also how that character plays with unique effects that come into play. So you can see here that Black Widow's got a different icon next to her face there. I guess we'll rank her up. Okay, so we just gave her another star. Okay, cool. There we go. So she's, I think, a speed character. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the terminology is, whereas Iron Man was a blaster character, right? So they're going to have different abilities, and then Iron Man is kind of the strength character with that little red fist there, so he will have bonuses against certain enemies. So what I should be doing as I go through the combat is kind of cycling people out to make sure I'm making the best of their abilities as I go. So I don't know what this is here. Again, I'm just going to kind of feel my way through this as I go. Very much a beginner to the game. But it looks like because I completed those first few missions, I've got some sort of bonus. And it looks... am I going to get another character here? Again, Shield Academy, level 1. So it looks like... Oh, I think I accidentally clicked out of that. Academy mission reward. There we go. So have I just... Am I recruiting? Acquire. Looks like I'm about to recruit. I'm about to acquire this character. Boom. Captain America Sharon Rogers. And it looks like she's a 6-star character. Wow, and it's got recommended teams as well. That's pretty cool. So you can kind of see who she pairs well with. That's awesome. So already it's saying that she should pair well with Cap and with Iron Man too, depending on the setup. Oh, and with Natasha too, with Black Widow. That's pretty cool. That's exciting. And it looks like, yeah, she's a 6-star character. That is awesome. So I'm still kind of working. Can we call her up here? There we go. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm enjoying this a lot. This is awesome. And she's a blaster type as well. Not strength like Captain America. So I guess I'm going to power her up and then have a go with some combat. Oh wow, look at that. That's an awesome costume. Wow, she's got some really cool uniforms that you can upgrade her to. This is actually a lot of fun. It looks super complex, I've got to say. And you know, obviously, I'm sure you get into it once you do, right? Mods are complex, for example, in Galaxy of Heroes. Marvel Strike Force is relatively straightforward. I guess ISO 8, you've got some decision making to make, but the costumes that we've got in Marvel Strike Force, for example, don't really do anything at the moment. But I guess I'm going to play around with this and then have a go with some combat. So yeah, let's see how we do. Okay, so I clicked my way through stuff, collected a bunch more stuff, and now I'm on the Sharon Rogers, Captain America, Silk, and Iron Man. That's the team that I'm running right now. I'm on some sort of interdimensional mission, so I'm just going to kind of give it a go. It's pretty cool. You've actually got this autoplay function that you can enable, and then I guess your character just runs around completing the mission automatically, which is actually a lot of fun to kind of sit and watch, and necessary, because it actually takes a lot of effort to navigate your way through these environments. So this is very cool. Looks like you can maybe only do it on certain mission types. Again, if you have experience with this game, let me know your thoughts and you know, whether I'm right or wrong about this stuff down in the comments, because I'm very much just going on what seems to be apparent to me as I work through these initial stages. I'm on some sort of, this is an interdimensional mission or something. I'm fighting AIM guys right now in a version of Manhattan, and I've been sent here by Dr. Gemma Simmons, which was a lot of fun. If there's any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans out there, it was pretty cool to see her in the game. I mean, looking nothing like Gemma Simmons from the show, but still pretty cool to have that character in here. I did enjoy that. And I've got to say, so when I was playing Contest of Champions, again, you know, big, steep learning curve, having to work out, oh cool, so we're going to fight Sandman now. So steep kind of learning curve, having to work out how the game works and all the various different power-up elements. But I have to say, I really wasn't taken with that game. This game I am actually really, really enjoying. I could see myself playing this. I really could. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, even at these initial stages, even when I don't really know what I'm doing. In my mind, that kind of bodes well for future Revolution, because they seem gameplay-wise to be kind of similar. Although this is not an MMORPG, of course, and my understanding is that Revolution will be. Anyway, back with some combat here. Moon Knight at the moment. I just wanted to draw attention to that little triangle in the corner that I mentioned earlier, right? So you can see those different symbols there, the green arrow, the blaster symbol, and then the hand symbol. So right here I'm using Moon Knight, but it looks as though I'd actually be better switching to a blaster character. So there, I can switch to the Sharon Rogers, Captain America, and she's much more effective at taking out these characters here. So again, it's that kind of rock, paper, scissors mechanic that you can come into play and switch between characters to get bonuses fighting against your enemies. It's pretty cool. So there's lots of different stuff to collect in this game. Unlike any game, when you're new at it, it can be a little overwhelming. I'm certainly finding this quite overwhelming right now, but what it seems to speak to is quite a lot of customization. That you can customize the character in terms of ranking them up and powering them up and giving them different gear, but then you can also customize them in terms of the costume, and then there's also these ISO 8 mechanics that they're bringing in as well. So it really seems like it's a very flexible gameplay mode. Now, I'm not going to be playing this enough to really get a good feel for that, to really delve into it. So if you are familiar with Future Fight, let me know down below your thoughts on the customization, how well it works, and the kind of fun that you can have tweaking your characters and kind of personalizing them a little bit. But what I do want to go and talk about right now is the sort of in-game friending and guild features. So you can see here, for example, this is the sort of friend menu. So people that I could friend, I guess I've received some friend requests, and then people that I could friend here, which is nice that they're promoting in-game socialization. Now, I'm not going to be playing this enough to really take advantage of this. Again, let me know down in the comments below if you can share gear and how that kind of plays out, what the advantages of having those friends, allies in-game. Also, there are alliances. Again, this is going to open up a whole other area of gameplay that I'm not going to explore. I'd have to spend a lot of time ranking up because, as you can see here, a lot of these guilds, they're, you know, level, I guess these ones are pretty low down, level 3, but most of them are level 30, level 40, and they're saying you've got to be shield level 10 plus, shield level 30 plus, shield level 70 plus. So these are pretty, for me anyway, they seem like really high level guilds or alliances, because if we just check my level here, it looks like I'm level 3. I mean, again, I don't fully understand the difference between my sort of level, the Iron Man looking level, and then that triangle looking level there, but it seems to suggest that I'm agent level 3. So that's pretty low for those alliances who are looking for level 30, level 70. And then some of the friends, when I was looking through the friends list, there are people on here who, you know, their level is up in the hundreds. So I'm not going to be able to take advantage of that, but I'd be really interested to know your experiences down below in terms of what the alliances bring to the game. Again, because I am potentially interested in playing this in future and interested in seeing how many, if any of these features, they decide to roll on into future Revolution. So if you have experience with this, let me know down below. So first impressions for this quick playthrough, this quick first time playing Marvel Future Fight. Overall, I think a really fun game. I'm enjoying it much more than Contest of Champions. I really think the story here to get into, I'm enjoying the collector part. Actually seems a lot more straightforward. You can build a really interesting team, even if it's quite complicated in terms of powering them up. And in fact, I think that's going to be a strength rather than a weakness when you really get into it. I'm sure you can come up with some really awesome, unique characters and really cool team compositions. The interface with combat and moving around, I do find a little bit clunky. Again, it's, as I said, it's reminding me of Lego Star Wars. Sometimes when you're moving around this environment, it's kind of difficult to know what you're coming up against and exactly what you're facing, because the camera is not necessarily pointing in the direction that I want it to be pointing in. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just a style of gameplay, but I find it a little bit difficult. I find it a little bit disorienting when I'm trying to play this particular game. Nonetheless, I think I could get used to it, and I have really enjoyed my little time playing it here, even if that tracker pad over on the left is a little bit tricky to get used to. Overall, it's left me actually really excited for Future Revolution, which I guess was kind of the point of doing these couple of videos here, looking at Marvel games that I hadn't yet played. Not long to go now, only a few days. I think it's on the 25th that Marvel Future Revolution drops, so really looking forward to that. Can't wait to play it and start making videos on it, and yeah, just really see what that is all about. Well, there you go. Those are my first impressions, first time playing Marvel Future Fight. But what about you? Have you played it? What do you think? How's it going? Are you like me at kind of like at level 3, or are you at level 300 or 3000? Let me know what you think of the game. As always, really interested in hearing your thoughts, comments, and criticisms down below. Also interested in hearing how you're feeling about Future Revolution, whether you've been watching some of the videos that people have been making about it, the release in Canada ahead of time, whether you're excited for it to drop or not really. I'm just keen to hear your thoughts, comments, and criticisms down below, as always. Well, thank you for being a part of this journey with me here today. If you have enjoyed this video, found it informative or entertaining in any way, please consider giving it a like, a thumbs up down below. I really appreciate it. And since you're here, why not consider subscribing to the channel? I drop new gameplay videos for Marvel Strike Force and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I should say, every single week, and I would love to have you along for the ride. That is all from Liam Aiden Gameplay today. I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, look after each other.